All right, this lesson is on pedigrees. So what does pedigree mean? Not what you're thinking. A pedigree is actually a diagram that traces one trait. That's important to know, one trait through several generations of a family. So here's an example here. Okay, so what does all that mean? You see circles and you see squares. So the circles represent the female and the square represents the males. Now you can remember this because guys are blockheads. So that's why the male is shaped like a square. So now let's practice. How many girls are in this pedigree? There are 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. How many boys are in this pedigree? There are 2 squares. 1, 2. Did you get it right? Okay, so the circle in this pedigree can be the mother. The square could be the dad. Then this actually means marriage, is what we'll get to. So mom and dad are married and they had 3 kids. They had the daughter, number 1. This was the firstborn. Then they had daughter number 2, the secondborn, and then their 3rd child was a son. It goes from oldest to youngest. So this was the firstborn, this was the last. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, a horizontal line connecting 2 shapes represents a cross or a marriage. So how many crosses or marriages are in this pedigree? If you guessed 2, you are correct. So A and B are married. They had C, D, and E, and the son got married and then had G. A vertical line extending down from a marriage cross represents that the couple has children, as I mentioned before. So mom and dad, and this line represents them having kids. All right, so looking at this pedigree, how many couples have children? If you guess 4, you are correct. A and B have 3 kids. G and H also have 3 kids. E and F have 2, M and N. And then N and O have 5. So you're probably wondering what this S and T is over here. Anybody have a guess? This is how you show twins. Okay, so actually getting to the point of a pedigree. A pedigree shows traits through generations. So you show a trait by shading. Now it's very important to know that the shaded means that that person has the trait, and this could be either dominant or recessive. So in this case, this person here, this guy, does not have a trait, but he is dominant homozygous for not having the trait. This person is a carrier of the trait. So it looks like in this case, dominant means that you do not have the trait. But if you do not have the dominant allele, you may have the trait. And remember that the shaded could be recessive or dominant. In this case, this example here, the shaded is a recessive trait. This cross means that there is a mutation. Remember that a pedigree chart follows only one trait. So let's look at this example here. This pedigree follows the trait of a tongue roller. So the dominant trait, if you have it, means that you are a tongue roller. The little r means that you cannot roll your tongue. So with it being a dominant trait being tongue roller, if you are, even if you are a carrier of the non-rolling trait, you still will be able to roll your tongue if you have the dominant allele. All right, so let's look at this. This mom is heterozygous. This one here is a tongue roller because they have 2 capital R's. This one is also a tongue roller because she is heterozygous. The daughter here is a tongue roller because she is homozygous. And then you also have another tongue roller. So every single one of these folks have big R's. And if you look, if we were actually to take the parents, dad and mom over here, and fill out the Punnett square, we will see that 100% of the kids will be able to roll their tongue. So they do not carry, or they carry the non-rolling trait, but they do not express it. If this was going to be expressed, it would be all shaded. But in this case, it's not.